Hi, it's Doug. During the coronavirus pandemic, wearing masks has become a common thing. While some people don't like the way that masks make them look or feel, recently some inventors have come up with clever ways to make wearing masks a little more fun, like these masks with LED light displays in them.
I can't. Look. Oh, holy night.
Someone named Isla has a question about masks. Let's give Isla a call now.
Hi, Doug.
Hi, Isla.
I have a question for you. Do masks really stop the coronavirus?
Ooh, that's an important question.
A year ago, if I had told you that everyone would be wearing masks to school and in stores, you probably wouldn't have believed me. But now, wearing a mask has almost become kind of normal, like wearing shoes and socks. And honestly, wearing a mask isn't always fun. They're uncomfortable sometimes, and it keeps us from seeing each other's smiles. And that's kind of sad. That's what makes this question such a good one. We're going through all this trouble to wear masks. But why? And how do we even know if masks work? Before I say anything more, what do you think? How do you think masks protect us from the coronavirus? Masks aren't a new thing. In fact, people have been wearing them for a really long time, just not always for the right reasons. Hundreds of years ago, people thought that bad smells was what made them sick. And they thought that if they wore masks full of nice-smelling perfumes and flowers, they wouldn't smell stinky things and get sick. Since that time, we've learned that germs, not smells, is what really makes people sick. But we still wear masks. Why is that? It all has to do with this. These slowed down images have been taken with a special camera. You see the tiny droplets of saliva flying through the air? Germs, like the germs that cause coronavirus, can live in those tiny droplets. When a sick person talks, coughs, or sneezes, those tiny droplets can fly pretty far and reach a lot of people. And that's the problem. When other people breathe in those droplets, they can get sick too. That's why you always hear people telling you to cover your mouth when you cough or sneeze. It's so that you don't spray those droplets all over the place. Now, this is where masks come in. Watch what happens to the droplets when a person wears a mask. You see how the mask helps keep a lot of those droplets in? It's kind of like covering your mouth when you cough or sneeze. Wearing a mask helps keep a lot of droplets filled with germs, like coronavirus, from going into the air where other people can breathe them in. And the fewer droplets people breathe in, the less of a chance they'll get sick. Now, experiments like these are good at showing us how masks work, but is that really enough? I mean, we want to know if masks really stop the coronavirus from spreading. Outside of a scientist's lab, is there any proof? Well, actually there is. Some of the best evidence we have for wearing masks comes from the real world. One person who didn't know that he had the coronavirus flew to Canada on a crowded airplane. He was coughing the entire flight. Now, you would think his germs would fly all over and make other people sick. But after the plane landed, none of the 25 people sitting around him got coronavirus. Why was that? Well, for the entire flight, he was wearing a mask. The mask kept most of his germs from flying into the air when he coughed, keeping the people around him safe. And that's not the only story. 2 hairstylists cut 140 people's hair while they had coronavirus. The hairstylists didn't know they were sick. They just kept cutting people's hair for days. But luckily, they were still wearing masks, and none of the people whose hair they cut got sick. Now, this doesn't mean it's safe for someone who has the coronavirus to go outside and wear a mask. That would be a bad idea. They could infect other people. But still, it shows that masks work very well. And masks haven't only helped in small places. They've helped entire countries. In places where almost everyone started wearing masks, like South Korea, fewer and fewer people have been getting sick with the coronavirus. Now, that said, masks don't totally protect us from the coronavirus. Some germs can still get into the air, even with a mask on. But examples like these show us that masks really do help. Now, some of you may be thinking, The people in these examples were sick. What if we don't have the coronavirus? Why do we have to wear a mask when we're not even sick? And this is why the coronavirus is really complicated. Some people who get the coronavirus feel really sick, while others, like the hairstylists, don't feel sick at all. They feel totally fine and didn't even know they had it. But that doesn't mean they can't still spread the germs through the air when they talk or cough or sneeze. So wearing a mask is important even if you don't feel sick at all, just in case. We share this planet with a lot of moms and dads, friends, teachers, grandparents, and we all need to take care of each other in the best way we can. So even if there's a tiny chance that by wearing a mask, we can keep someone from getting the coronavirus, it's definitely worth it. So in summary, masks work by keeping a sick person's germs from spreading into the air when they talk, cough, or sneeze. The fewer germs that get into the air, the less of a chance people will breathe them in and get sick. We're learning more and more about the coronavirus each day, and the more we learn, the more we understand that masks are working, and some of the best examples we have come from real life. That's all for this week's question. Thanks, Isla, for asking it.